Wind up and the pitch from Mars, grounded under the glove of Diaz and into right field. A hard hit grounder goes right past the leather of Diaz. Cawthron aboard on the first pitch of the ball game. An error charged to Diaz on a ball. Did not get his glove down to, as that brings up Andrew Hunt. Rex took game number 1 by the score of 9-4. That breaker misses low. Big offensive showing for the Rex as Hunt takes low 1-0. Hunt was 0 for 3. Knocked home a run on a sac fly. Throw over to first. Back in safely is Cawthron. Mars, right-hander from Vincennes University, a freshman, threw in 43 innings of work for Vincennes this past year. Slide step delivery. That one skied into deep center. Going back on it right. He's got a beat. He'll make the catch. A good ride off the bat of Hunt, but finds only the center fielder for the first down. That'll bring up Joe Watkins. Mars, a local kid, West Terre Haute. Watkins, game number 1, 2-hit day. The only multi-hit day for the Rhythm. Throw back over to first once again. Rex will be looking to get a little bit of length out of Mars, who most recently went 3 1/3 in a start against DuBois County. That was also in a doubleheader ball game. Allowed just 2 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 4. He did walk 4, however. Pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes here to Watkins. That was his first start in almost a month. Previous to that, it was exactly a month, actually, June the 18th. He's had a lot of time off. That's skied into right field. Back on it, Mason. He's camped under, and he'll make the catch 2 away. Pair of flyouts after the error. That'll bring up Parliament. So with the win, the Rex stay atop the Central Division. They move record-wise to 13-8. The Rhythm fall to 500 at 11-11. The Rex have taken the first 2 of the 3 these 2 teams play. Fouled on back over the netting. Out of play, 0-1. A Rex sweep would be huge for them in the playoff race. For the Rhythm, looking to salvage 1 win out of this and keep themselves at least within some striking distance. The 0-1 is inside on a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 teams vying to try and play Danville in the 1-game divisional round. Rhythm looking to do so in their first year in the league. Throw back over. Really worried about Cawthron, who does not have a ton of stolen bags on the year. I mentioned game number 1. This is not a team that runs a ton. 6 stolen bases for Cawthron. They've spread them out a decent amount, but a lot of guys just in the low middle single digits. Pitch to the plate. That's roped down the line. Foul. Foot or so left of the line. 1-2 the count. Mars was originally scheduled to start on Tuesday, back when this doubleheader was scheduled for, not Tuesday, for yesterday, which was Wednesday. He was scheduled to start game 1 of the doubleheader when it was scheduled then, but now getting game number 2. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That sails high, ducking out of the way. Parliament evens up at 2s. Tough act to follow with Swanson yesterday, Moss today. Both had good outings. Parliament choked up on the bat at the plate. Here's the pitch. Sky high into straightaway right field. Coming in Mason a few paces. He'll put the squeeze on it for out number 3. The error to start the game stranded on first. A 0 on the board for Caleb Mars. We're underway in game number 2. We head to the bottom half of the first here in this 7-inning ballgame. Scoreless between the Rex and the Rhythm here on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Catcher batting 5th. Gabriel Arroyo 6th and left. Wale Diaz 7th. Cooper Joust bats 8th and Caden Mason in the 9th spot. Just a couple tweaks to the first lineup that put up 9 runs. The windup from Pulliam, his first offering, is a breaker in there for a strike. 0-1 to Gabe Wright. Pair of walks and a 3-run homer on his line from the first matchup. 0-1, that misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rex with a win here in game number 2 would guarantee themselves atop the division heading into tomorrow, after which point all 3 of the teams challenging, Normal, the Rhythm, and the Rex, would all be facing other opposition. That bounced off the back of the helmet with a wayward breaking ball. And Wright is all right, and he'll head down to first. Good thing that was a breaking ball, and it skimmed off of the helmet more so than a direct hit. And Wright will head down to first. Brings up Nomar Garcia. But after today, it's going to be a lot of relying upon other teams to help do some of the business, so long as you can take care of your own. Wright takes his lead. The first pitch to Garcia, slashed up the middle. That's going to be right at the center fielder, Watkins, who makes the catch. The defense for the Rhythm here in this one. Hunt out in left, Watkins in center, Jackson out in right. Von Dolan at third, Newsom at short, Parliament at second, Cawthron at first. Usri behind the plate, donning the catcher's gear here in this one, in the place of Black, who caught game 1. Only the catchers being swapped out. Otherwise, the rest have remained the same for these 2 teams. That's in there for a strike to Claudio, 0-1. Arm dangling down for Pulliam as he looks in. Native of Whitehaven, Tennessee. Big lead off of first for Wright. They'll throw back over. He's in standing. No balls and 1 strike to Claudio. Scoreless bottom half of the first inning. 0-0. Lights are on here at Bob Warren Field. Bright blue skies above us as the sun will start to set to our left as the day goes along. Wright is running. It's fouled off by Claudio to the left side. Game 2 game time temperature right around 80 degrees, sunny. Very little, if any, wind going on. Claudio back in the batter's box. Pulliam looking in. Wright was off on the last delivery. Going here. Fastball outside. The throw down to second. The tag in time for the out. A close tag play at second. Just barely beats the left hand to the bag, and Wright is out. Caught for the 6th time this season in nearly 40 attempts. There's 2 away now in a 1-1 count to Claudio. Pulliam back from the windup now with the base runner erased. Breaking ball called, strike 3. It's an 0-2 count, and he dropped one in there. Claudio down on strikes. No score through 1. We head to the second in this 7-inning ball game between the Rex and the Rhythm here on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Kicks and delivers. Off-speed offering, a little check swing roller. It spins foul. Didn't realize it for a second. Tobias was able to watch it spin its way out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The Rhythm used 2 bullpen arms in game number 1. The Rex used 1 in Landon Ray. 1-1 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. trying to manage a 7-inning doubleheader ball game. Fouled off. 1-2 it stays. All ahead of some big games. The Rex taking on Champion City and Lafayette through the weekend. The Rhythm taking on Danville and then Jackson to round out their campaign. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3 out in front. He's down on strikes. Another K for Mars. There's one out here in the inning. The defense for the Rex here in game number 2, very similar to game number 1. Arroyo right and Mason from left to right out in the pasture. It's Claudio at third, Garcia at short, Joust at second, Diaz at first, Gustavo Nava the only defensive change behind the dish. Lined up from Mars. His first pitch to Jackson misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 offering drops in. 1-1. So far, with just a handful of games left in the season, still a lot to play for, and not just this division, but every single one. As that fastball's high, 2-1. There's not really one division that seems to be iced at this point. Mars looks in, his 2-1 offering. Fastball inside, 3-1. In the Northeast, Chillicothe on top of the division, but they've already won the first half. So it's between Johnstown, Lafayette, and Champion City, all with sub-500 records, but no more than a game apart as that drops in for a strike. 3-2. That's another one that could easily go down to the final day or two, and the Rex will have a big part of it. They play Lafayette and Champion City their next 3 games. Pop fly out of play. Stays 3-2. Northwest does seem to be wrapped up more than likely. Clinton leading that division ahead of the first half champs Illinois Valley. They're playing the Corn Belters today for 2. 3-2, a little check swing pop-up. Diaz under it, makes the call, and an underhand grab for out number 2. Jackson retired. Brings up Von Dolan. 0-0 the score. Top half of the second inning of this 7-inning game. And then a lot to play for in the South. The Thrillbillies, who won the first half, are in last. And so that makes it between Cape Catfish, who are on top at 12-9. The 4th place Alton River Dragons are 9-12. They're still mathematically in it. It's not all that far between 1st and 4th in that one. Misses outside, 1-0 to Von Dolan. And then, of course, there's this one, which is a game between 3 teams at the top. Drops one in for a strike, 1-1. Plenty of excitement coming down to the last. 1-1 from Mars. Breaking ball, that's hit well by Von Dolan. Deep into left field, going back, Arroyo leaps up, crashes into the wall, and that ball is down somewhere. Arroyo is hurt against the wall, and he caught the ball. The ball's in his glove. Oh my goodness. Von Dolan's come to the plate, a hat tip from Mars. There's no official signal from the umpires yet. They're going to talk about it. Arroyo leaped, crashed into the wall. He was down and hurt on the ground. He's now standing up and walking. He's limping now towards the training staff who are headed his direction, but they haven't yet made an official signal. The runner, Von Dolan's gone all the way around. If that ball is ruled to be in play, it is, which means that that's a run. And Tony Roselli is sprinting out from going to his man to the umpire, as they ruled that that ball bounced off of the wall first, and Roselli is heated. And so that's going to mean that Von Dolan, who, credit to him, kept on running, will have an inside the park homer out of it, as now Rex bodies scattered all over the place. They were thinking the inning was over. Roselli is still making the argument out, and that's going to be a run, making it 1-0 Rhythm. Arroyo is still being checked on. He's holding his chest and shoulder area on his left, which is where part of his body weight was, and he clattered in. Roselli continues to talk with the umpires. As Mars, Claudio, everybody's having a word here. Still waiting for this game to continue. And now the Rex will have to make a change. Arroyo is heading off. He's walking much better. Got a quick word from the third base coach from the Rhythm. And Dawson Eastep is going to head out into left field. So with that, Arroyo will have to exit. And that'll make it 1-0 Rhythm on an obscure play. The umpire continues to hear it from the crowd here. We're still waiting to get back underway. That was a crazy play, and once again, I've said it once, I'll say it many times more. You see something new every day, that's a new one. The difficulty, of course, is that with nobody on, the first base umpire is on the first baseline. The home plate umpire is where he's supposed to be, behind home plate, as that first offering to the batter Newsom is low, 1-0. And so neither are really able to get a great view on it, and the initial ruling was the ball bounced off the wall first, and from there, the likelihood of an overturn was going to be rather low, as that's in there for a strike. There's no real better view that either of them could have got, regardless of what the true outcome was. As that finds the zone 0-2 here to the batter Newsom. It certainly appeared as Arroyo caught the ball. That's in there for a called strike three. 3 straight breaking balls ends the inning, but a weird inside the park homer off of Von Dolan ends the inning. Mars is still displeased as he heads off the bump. The Rhythm take an early lead. 1-0 Rhythm, bottom half of the second inning. Eli Riley will lead it off, followed by Gustavo Nava and Gabriel Arroyo. Actually, not Arroyo, it'll be Dawson Eastep who entered in the place as that fastball inside. Riley turns out of the way from pitch from Pulliam. So an inside the park home run is how this game has gotten underway. The second homer of the day from Von Dolan as that's fouled off towards the Rex dugout. 1-1. With Arroyo having to leave the game adds injury to insult, or the other way around, however you want to look at it. Makes it difficult for the Rex, player who'd been playing so well, as that's fouled out of play to the right side, 1-2. Arroyo has been a big piece for this team. He's a veteran leader, and he's given everything. It's safe to say that's the second time in which he's left a game after crashing into a wall. Unfortunately for him, both times have resulted in the exact same thing, an inside the park homer. The other happened back in Chillicothe. That's outside, 2-2. So Eastep will bat third in the inning. The Rex, for the most part, haven't had much bad luck with injuries, and that's certainly a positive. 2-2 from Pulliam. Breaking ball. Skied into shallow right. Coming in Jackson. He's there. He'll make the catch. Out number 1. 1-0 the score. The Rhythm lead. Brings up Gustavo Nava, the switch hitter, batting left, I should say, against the righty. Nava, good to see back behind the plate. He was one of those injury concerns the Rex had, a hamstring injury against Danville a few weeks back, but was able to work his way back up to 100% to where now he's able to catch after originally just DHing. Swing and miss for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Pulliam works from the windup, stares into his glove, now delivers. Nava fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, the Corn Belters are playing the Clinton Lumber Kings in a doubleheader. That game in Clinton, or in Normal, should go the way of Clinton in game number 1. It's 14-0 in the 6th. Normal has come back from big deficits before. However, that would be very impressive. It's not over till it's over, though, as the saying goes. That's low to Nava, 1-2. They will play a second game after that one, however. Williams 1-2 here to Nava. Lefty batter. Hits that one hard over on a hop to the second baseman. Parliament gloves, throws to first for the out, 2 away. 2 quick counts, brings up Dawson Eastep, who now in left field. The Rex really don't have the same outfield depth they once did. They used to have a few more options, and with Ben Kearns having an issue with his wrist, he was able to pitch with his other arm, his natural left hand, but unable to enter the game recently after getting back in the starting lineup. So Eastep, who has played 1 game in left so far, also for an injury to Arroyo, is once again tasked with manning the outfield grass. First pitch he faces, spiked in, 1 ball and no strikes. Pulliam this season a 6.61 ERA and 16 in the 3rd innings. This is his first game he's started. He's worked in no more than 2 1/3 this season. More abbreviated stints for the right-hander. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss behind it, 1-1. Rex have reached once on a Gabe Wright hit by pitch to start off the bottom of the 1st. It's been several set down in a row by Pulliam. Slow grounder to short, gloved and thrown to first by Newsom for the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and that'll end the 2nd inning. 1-0 to score. The Rhythm lead the Rex as we head to the 3rd here from Bob Warnfield on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio. Number 2. First pitch from Mars is in there for a strike. The unorthodox home run, the difference early in this one. Breaking ball, that one misses below the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Big swing and a miss behind the fastball from Mars. Mars got starts early in the year, but was away for a decent period of time. That's a called strike 3, freezes the batter, and that's strikeout number 3 for Mars. Strikeout number 4 for Mars through the first time through the order. And that'll turn it over to Cawthron. Cawthron, the lefty batter, and a righty heavy lineup for the Rhythm. First offering outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Mars not a guy who's gotten a ton of length in the pitching outings. 4 innings for the most part, as that's outside 2-0. That said, the early part of the season, the Rex ran a much thinner rotation with regard to innings. 2-0 pitch, breaker drops in for a strike. A lot of shorter stints with multi-inning relief outings, with a lot of guys getting about even number as opposed to having true starters going deep into games. That's fouled out of play, 2-2. Really flipped when the Rex got on that 10-game win streak at the end of June, and that's when you started to see guys like Swanson, Moss, and Zenko especially grow into 5 to 7 inning starts. 2-2 from Mars. That's skied into deep left field. Going back Eastep, his first challenge to the track, makes the catch, falls down, and holds on. A nice running grab from the natural infielder. And there's 2 away. Perhaps a sarcastic round of applause as well after that inside the park home run last inning. A good catch out there for Estep. He had a long way to go, and again, as a guy who's played almost all of his innings with the Rex at second base, now having to range a lot further than you do on the infield. That swung on and missed for strike one by Hunt. Breaker inside. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The Rex should have a decent amount of availability out of their bullpen. 1-1. Foul right on back to the netting. Moves to 1-2. Mars working from the windup. Kicks and deals his 1-2. That's hit well into right center field. Right is over. So too is Mason. It'll be Mason who makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 from Mars here in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half here in game number 2. It's the Rhythm 1, the Rex nothing here on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. 1-0 Rhythm here in the bottom half of the third inning. Diaz, Jowson, Mason, the bottom 3 of the Rex order to bat here against Pulliam, who has not allowed a hit, just 1 base runner who was caught stealing. That was Gabe Wright. Limited offense here so far. The windup from Pulliam. First pitch to Diaz, chops softly to short. Back on it, Newsom throws to first for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Both pitchers have been very good. It's been a pitching-based series between these two teams, truly. For the Rex, Darren Swanson gritted through 5. Aaron Moss had a good 6-inning outing in game number 1. Both limited runs, limited hits. Wind up from Pulliam, squaring and pulling back Joust. That pulls the third baseman Von Dolan in. And in. As for the Rhythm, a good start yesterday from Hash. Even though he allowed 4 runs, he did look good for most of it, as that's in there for a strike, and it was just a couple soft singles and productive outs that really made the difference. And then Barry, in the end, it'll look a little bit better. 3 of those runs earned out of the 7 he allowed due to a few errors behind him. That breaker misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Joust. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch is at least some less velocity behind him. Chance for Wright, who suffered that same fate in the first inning. Bats with 2 on and 1 away. The Rex trailing 1-0. First pitch, a called strike. Last couple games, Wright has been on point. 4 homers. All coming in less than a week span. Looking to add here. Breaking ball inside, nearly hit him. It's 1-1. Wright has racked up the runs batted in. Leads the team in the category. And has been doing so primarily out of the leadoff spot, sometimes the 2 spot. And that speaks a lot to how the lineup has turned over to him well, as that's taken low 2-1. Certainly when you tend to think of leadoff hitters, a lot of guys don't get many RBI because, again, they're at the top of the lineup, meaning that their only chance to lead off a game is by bringing themselves in with a homer. And after that, they're relying upon the 8-9 batters usually, or sometimes others, to get on base ahead of them to try and bring them those chances. That misses low 3-1. So for Wright to be leading the team in RBI speaks a lot, even though he hasn't spent the whole season in the 1 spot. Mason on first, Joust on second. 3-1 the count. 1 away. Here's the pitch. That's inside, ball 4. Another walk for Wright. That's his 3rd of the day, his 4th free pass. And the Rex will have him loaded with just 1 away in the inning for Nomar Garcia. It'll lead to a meeting on the mound Big situation here. The Rex trail by 1 in the early going. Third inning of this 7-inning ball game, and Garcia, a tough guy to double up. Bundles of speed in his legs. A chance for the Rex to answer right on back here in this one. Rex bats have looked better in the recent going. They've been striking out a lot less, and that's been really a key part of maintaining this stretch when their pitching has still been really good, but maybe not necessarily where it was when they had a 10-game stretch with a 2.5 ERA. But even then, their offense has started to pick it up, putting more balls in play, and even in some of their losses where they haven't scored a high amount of runs, they've been completing a process that at least suggests that the results will come. First baseman Cawthron is in on the edge of the grass. Von Dolan a step or two behind it. Double play depth up the middle. First pitch to Garcia. Bases loaded. Tips it foul. Wright's on first. Mason's on second. Joust on third. Rex taking the first 2 games of what essentially will be a 3-game set. Garcia right up on the plate. Soft grounder over towards short. They flip to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time. And in to score is Joust, and this ball game's tied at 1. Garcia speedy down the line, and the throw, Cawthron jumped off the bag to ensure he grabbed it, knowing that the play was not going to happen. RBI fielder's choice for Garcia. 1-1 the score for Delvis Claudio. Gets the Rex on the board. Pulliam now with them on the corners, looks in. Garcia takes a lead off of first. Pretty decent size. First pitch served up the middle. It's batted down by Parliament. In to score is Mason. Claudio's going to reach. He hit it on a soft line drive. Parliament gave a leap, and it just knocked off of his glove. The Rex take a 2-1 lead. He almost snagged it. We've seen some great defensive plays across the day from both sides. Parliament nearly made one in game number 1 on a dive, and this time it just caroms off his glove into shallow center. Big lead for Garcia off a second. He shortens up. That one's behind the head of Riley on a breaking ball. Once again, he's losing command, Pulliam. 1-0 the count here to Riley. That said, the batting down of the ball by Parliament prevented Garcia from reaching third. He's still on second, though he could steal third on a moment's notice. He's done so plenty of times this year. Pitch to Riley. Skies that one into straightaway center. Coming in is Watkins. He's over. He'll make the catch for out number 3. But 2 runs score for the Ranks. A single by Claudio, a fielder's choice by Garcia. 2-1 the Ranks lead. We're through 3 here at Bob Warren Field. We'll step aside here on Prospect League TV and the Ranks Radio Network. Caleb Mars back out with a lead now in the top of the 4th inning. His first pitch is a called strike in there to leadoff man of the inning, Joe Watkins. He flew out his first time in game number 2. Wind up from Mars. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one. Breaking ball, pop foul out of play. Watkins has been a danger man for the Rhythm. Certainly had one of his better games against the Ranks, where he had a double and a homer, a 2-for-3 performance. Skies it foul and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Watkins, junior from UAB, Alabama Birmingham. Wind up from Mars. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike three, another K to his line. Caught him out in front. Another strikeout for Caleb Mars. That's his fourth. That'll bring up Parliament, who is one of the strikeout victims. Two teams wearing the same jerseys they wore in game number one. The light blue for the Rex, the all gray look for the Rhythm on the road. They wore those really nice powder blues yesterday. I love a good powder blue uniform. They've got the blue lettering across the front in this one as that's fouled off. Light blue accents on dark blue. It's a nice color scheme they've got going. Mars, several shakes, offers a 1-1. Pop fly into shallow right. Joust going out. He makes the call. Mason behind him. And foul ground. It's Joust to put the squeeze on it. A long way to run once again for Cooper Joust. Had a little bit more time than the one he grabbed in game number one in a similar spot. And there's two away for Tobias. First pitch, a strike to the DH, who struck out his first time. Off-speed pitch misses on the outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 away in the inning. 2-1 the Rex lead. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Rex. Breaking ball outside. Nava taking a moment. Got himself caught perhaps. He shakes out his left foot area. 2 balls and 1 strike to the left-handed batter Tobias. Freshman from Lipscomb, an Alabama native. Hitless in game number one. The 2-1 to him. He swings and misses over the top. Strike 2. The Rhythm scored 1 on the awkward inside the park homer in the second. The Rex scored 2 in the bottom of the third. And that's outside, and the count will go full. Wind up from Mars. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. The curveball gets Tobias, and it's a 1-2-3 for Caleb Mars. Sets the Rhythm down in order. We're halfway home here in game number 2 of the day. The Rex lead 2-1 to the bottom of the fourth here from Bob Warren Field between Rex and the Rhythm on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Gustavo Nava leads off the bottom of the fourth inning. A new pitcher on board for the Rhythm to end the day of Pedro Pulliam after 3. Wind up, and the first pitch is in there for a strike from Carson Howard, his 9th appearance of the season. 17 1/3 innings, a 7.79 ERA for a junior from North Alabama. Deals outside, 1-1. 17 appearances for Howard with North Alabama in his collegiate season. Breaking ball hit down the line. That's foul by Nava. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the Rex catcher in game number 2. Dawson Eastep on deck. For the Rex, still no action out in their bullpen right now. Caleb Mars has settled down well after that inside the Parker for Von Dolan. A little cue shot over to third. Gloved by Von Dolan. He throws to first. Nava is out. Nava certainly not going to beat out anything on the infield. He's still not really testing his hamstring unless he really needs to. And on a routine ground ball like that, he was not all that intent on going after it and risking any further injury as Estep comes to the plate, the lefty batter. First pitch from Howard. Chops it softly over the head of Howard, charging in the shortstop Newsom. It's off his glove, and Estep's going to beat it out. Infield single off the bat of Estep, a soft chopper, and Newsom had to take a slightly weird hop on him. He was going to have to rush anyway, and Estep aboard. Brings up Wally Diaz. Diaz rounded out his first time. Estep, decent speed off on first. Has a hefty lead over there. First pitch to Diaz. It's in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Mars for the Rex is bared down well after that inside the Parker I mentioned. That's hit down the line. It's snagged by Cawthron. Throws down to second. They're going to have to throw to first. That gets away. Everybody is safe. Diaz heading down to second. Estep to third. He slides. He gets tagged for the out. And Diaz is into second. From 3 to 6 to 3 to 5 to get the put out. And Diaz will reach second. He gives a toss of his arm guard to Tony Roselli at third. Well, it was a great snag by Cawthron in the first place. His throw down to second was away, and Newsom, instead of going for the bag, just caught the ball and fired back to first, and the ball got away as Joust takes his low 1 ball and no strikes. But then Cawthron heads up with both runners advancing, maybe slightly ill-advised, and he threw to third to get the lead runner. Diaz in scoring position, but there are 2 away. That one misses low, 2-0. Ball in hand for Howard, dangling by his side. He comes set, his 2-0 delivery. Outside, 3-0. Caden Mason, the 9-hole hitter on deck. 3-0, a throwback to second. That ball skews away off of Diaz. He's heading towards third. Newsom picks it up. His throw down gets away, and Diaz gets up. He's going to hold. That caromed right back to Von Dolan. Nearly catastrophe for the Rhythm. Howard, I'm not sure why he was throwing back to second. Diaz had a big enough lead, but was not a threat to do very much over there. And I think it hit off of the foot of Diaz because instead of going right up the middle where it looked like it was going, it shot right past the shortstop towards his natural position. And he rushed to throw to third, which bounced conveniently right back to the third baseman, Von Dolan. That's in there for a strike, 3-1 to Joust. My goodness. Insanity here in this inning on the bases. Joust hits it softly up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Diaz in to score. It's 3-1 Ranks. So that extra throwing error that allows Diaz to go to third helps somewhat, as the Ranks now lead by 2. Brings up Caden Mason, another RBI on the day for Cooper Joust. Had one in game 1. First pitch to Mason, takes a called strike. Don't think that Diaz would have scored from second even on that soft roller. Certainly would have been a close play if he was sent. 0-1, fouls it right back into the netting. 0-2. Gabe Wright on deck. No official plate appearance in game 2 for him. Same goes for Mason. Hit by a pitch his first time. Joust leads off of first. He's running. The pitch outside. The throw down to second is high. The tag, they do not get him. He gets back in on the second time. Time called. A stolen base for Joust, who had the throw beat him down, but it was high, and Parliament coming down, couldn't get the tag onto the runner, and Joust was able to squeak his way in. And he's in scoring position in a 1-2 count to Caden Mason. Howard comes set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, fouls it off. It wasn't a terrible pitch to throw on for catcher Usri, who had that ball coming to his right, made it really easy to naturally transfer and toss. That ball in the dirt, it gets away right through the wickets, and down to third goes Joust. Couldn't get on top of it, and it moves to 2-2 to Mason, and now Joust is 90 feet away. This is a Rex team you do not want to give free bases to, be they walks or hit by pitches or just allowing them to take an extra bag in any way, as that's fouled off. Stolen bases, wild pitches, you name it. The Rex tend to take advantage of those scenarios pretty often. 2-2. Skied foul by Mason, spoils another one. Mason staying alive. He's had a couple good plate appearances across today, spoiling off tough pitches. 2-2. That's in there, called strike three. Mason down on strikes, and that will end the inning. But the Rex score one on the single by Cooper Joust. They extend their lead to 2. We head to the 5th here in this 7-inning game number 2 today. The Rex lead 3-1. We'll step aside here on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network.
Hi fans, don't pay attention to the scoreboard. It is the 5th inning stretch. Let's get on your feet.
To get out there, and Mars will be back out there in the top of the 5th. He faces Jackson to start. First pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Rex lead 3-1. Scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Our last time up, that's outside from Mars. 2-0. Trust shown in the right-hander. Hasn't gone very long in many of his starts this year. Drops one in softly for a called strike. 2-1. No action whatsoever. Not even a bullpen catcher stirring. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Squaring to bunt Jackson. Takes outside. Mars was already crashing after delivering his pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jackson, who popped down. Mars has allowed just 1 hit. That's in there for strike 2. It's to the guy on deck, Von Dolan. 3-2. Mars from the windup. Here's his pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another K for Mars. That's number 6 for the righty. He's had it working here today. The best stuff that we've seen from Caleb Mars this year. That'll bring up Von Dolan. He has the lone hit. Contested one at that. He hit one deep into left field. Gabriel Arroyo crashed into the wall. He thought he had caught it. That one's outside, 1-0. So did the rest of the Rex team, but the umpires ruled that it hit the wall, and Von Dolan heads up base running, did not stop around the bases, and was credited with a home run. That one is sky high into foul ground. That's going to get out of play, I believe. Yes, it will. Way out onto the road. Part of the deal was Arroyo was down hurt. He had to leave the game. Dawson East steps out and left, and he didn't show the ball until a minute or 2 after the crash happened, because he was more focused on his own health than the status of the play, as that bounces in 2-1. And just despite a discussion between the 2 umpires, the original call remained, the 2-1. That's outside, 3-1, and credit to cooler heads for the Rex. Caleb Mars was jawing a little bit still at the end of the inning. And since then, it's been all business for him. That's been the only hit he's allowed, as that's in there for called strike 2, 3-2. Despite the argument Everybody's still in the game as that swung on and missed. Strike 3, another K. Looping curve once again. That's number 7 for Mars. Brings up Newsom. Mars answering back with his actions on the bump right now. First pitch to Newsom. Fastball in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike the count. Hold a 2-run lead. We're in the 5th inning of a 7-inning ball game. That one skied into straightaway right. Mason first back, now in. He's there to make the catch. How about this for Caleb Mars? 10 in a row set down by the West Terre Haute right-hander, taking us through the top of the 5th inning. We head to the bottom half here from Bob Horn Field. The Ranks lead. The Ranks looking to add upon a 2-run lead, which they have picked up and gave to Caleb Mars. The first pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Wright. Wright is 0 for 0 here in game number 2. A hit by pitch and a walk. He takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes means he's 1 for 2 across a game and a half because he had 2 walks in game 1 as well. That one's still a very big swing. It was a 3-run homer. Takes low, 3-0. That's the thing about a guy like Gabe Wright. The 3-0 pitch incoming. There's a called strike, 3-1. He's got that big power that he's showcased, tied for the league lead in homers. 3-1. That one's hit well into center field. Coming in is the center fielder Watkins on a little leap for the out. It's out number 1 here in the 5th inning, but again, you can't really pitch around Wright very much because if you issue a walk, you prevent the homer, but he's got such good speed that he can then take an extra base or 2 off of you and make it very dangerously close to turning a walk into a triple in some cases. That breaks in there for a strike to Garcia. Breaking ball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the thing about that kind of power and speed archetype you get in a player. Really have very few avenues of attack as that skied out of play foul to the right side. Off of the metal bleachers to our right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Rex lead 3-2-1. 3 runs on 5 hits. 1 error committed for the Rex here in this one. Wind up, here it comes. That fastball outside. 2-2 here to Garcia. On deck, Delvis Claudio. Garcia opened the scoring with a fielder's choice. Back in the 3rd. Breaking ball just got a piece of it and tapped it foul to the pull side. 2-2. Jam shot line drive, caught on a dive by the shortstop Newsom. Lunging to his right and scraped it away from the turf for the out. A nice play there by the shortstop. Say it again, the defense today has been very good. 2 teams playing some really good defense behind their pitchers. A swing and a miss by Claudio for strike 1. It's been on both sides, whether it's diving plays, long runs in the outfield. There's a leaping grab by Joust as well. Another one. That's soft tapper to 3rd. Waiting back on it, Von Dolan. He rifles to 1st for the out in a quick 1-2-3 for Howard. 0 put up in the bottom of the 5th. We add to the 6th inning here from Bob Warren Field. It remains 3-1 Rex over the rhythm here on Prospect. No strikes. Works from the windup. He's only had to work from the stretch once today. That was after the error in the 1st inning. He finished out that inning with just a runner stranded on 1st. 1-1, breaking ball. Drops in for a strike, 1-2. It's been efficient as well. 71 pitches now for Mars. Here in the 6th of a 7-inning ball game. Breaker low, 2-2. On deck after Usri, as that is outside, ball 3. Mars asking for clarification. A pitch that didn't miss by all that much. On deck is the top of the order with Cawthron. 3-2. Here's the pitch. That's inside, that hit him. Mars loses the first batter of the inning. Just has to settle down a little bit. There's a little bit of frustration out there after not getting that strike call. Clarification on where that hit the batter from Roselli. So Mars will have to work from the stretch here against the top of the order with Cawthron, who reached on an error in the first, flew out his next time. Just a 2-run game, tapped softly foul. These are two teams with really interesting connections to their locations with regard to their naming. There's some wild names you get along the college summer ball circuits, but the Rhythm and the Rex done a very good job of connecting to their local areas. The Rhythm, of course, Tennessee. You think Nashville, you think of music. That misses low. The Rex, or the Rhythm, I should say, just 20 miles or so away from a music center. Have the guitar pick logo with the R. That's hit deep into right field. Mason going back. This ball game is tied. A 2-run home run off the bat of Jackson Cawthron. He entered yesterday without any homers on the year. He's got 2 now. And it's 3-3. Just the second hit allowed by Caleb Mars. Both of them have been ruled homers. Now he has to settle back down with nobody out in the inning here in the 6th. Tie ball game. The first pitch to Hunt misses low. Nava calls time. He wants to discuss things. Just one pitch left over the plate, and Cawthron, no real doubt off the bat for the lefty. Well hit, and now for Mars, you really just have to settle down. Again, he didn't get that strike call he wanted. He would have thought that that was strike 3, turns into a walk. Now gives up the homer. Cannot let that compound in this portion of the game. A game that's now tied, a game with implications, certainly in the 6th of a 7-inning game as well. You're looking at it essentially like the 8th inning. If it were a 9-inning game, it's right down the stretch. Every out matters. You have to be really careful as he misses low 2-0. There's going to start some ramping up in the Rex bullpen. Couple righties out there. Fastball, that's in there for a strike. Bounces back, 2-1. Lined up his 2-1 offering. Breaker outside, 3-1. Looks like potentially Isaac Rosario throwing out there. I saw Evan Chung head out there as well. 3-1. Here it comes from Mars. That's in there for a strike. Count fills up. 3-2. On deck is Watkins. 2 runs in on the inning. 3-3 the score. Top of the 6th. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. Mars once again frustrated. A pair of 3-2 walks that did not miss by much on either occasion. The home run in between them, and that'll bring up Watkins. Watkins is 0 for 2. Flew out and struck out. Throw to first. Back in safely is Hunt. It is Rosario out there throwing in the bullpen. So righty getting warm out in the rhythm bullpen as well. Claudio in from his third base position. Fastball misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch count getting up there for Mars now. Hunt on first, grounded to third. Glove by Claudio, fumbles it, throws to first. Not in time. A late throw, and that's going to prompt Tony Roselli to come talk with Mars. And he wants to get a new pitcher in there. It started to compound here for Mars in the inning. A pair of walks, a home run in the inning, and now there's 2 aboard. With nobody out, the Rex and Rhythm all knotted up now at 3s. We will step aside, introduce the right-hander after a quick break on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Rex are going to have a debut. It is not, in fact, Isaac Rosario. It's a new arm out there, number 14, Juan Contreras, a freshman out of Connors State, making his first outing of the year from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Enters in a dire situation, a tie ball game at 3. Runners on first and second. The game has already been tied on a 2-run homer. Here's the first pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Contreras comes set. Kicks and fires. Fastball in there for strike 2. Contreras, teammate of his first baseman, Wally Diaz, who contributed in the recruiting pitch. And Tony Roselli has just been tossed. And there is commotion going on now. This has been a weird doubleheader, folks. And now Nava's getting involved, and Tony Roselli is speaking his mind. Both head coaches have been run from this game across a doubleheader, and frankly, to be honest, I feel like they've both been very quick hooks from the umpiring crew today. I'm not sure what Roselli was saying from the dugout. Certainly there's been a lot that has brewed in this ball game as Roselli continues to talk. Gabriel Arroyo and Nava trying to cool things off on their head coach. I'm not sure what prompted this either, as back-to-back strike calls for Contreras. And Roselli receives an applause as he heads off. But in game number 1, the hook was given to Josh Carman, who had some issue with the 7th inning calls in game number 1, a situation in which, again, several things brewed for that Rhythm team that led to a head at the very end. And even then, again, there didn't seem to be very much cause in the ejections. And now both head coaches at some point have been rung. So Jacob Harden will take the reins here for the second time this year. Roselli, who had never really been tossed in a game during his playing career in pro ball, has been rung again. Contreras steps off. They've got a runner picked off. The throw to third, the tag, they got him. Now going up to second safely is Watkins. Hunt is out, Watkins to second. They catch the runner stealing for out number 1. Parliament is the batter, 0-2 the count to him. 1 out now in the inning. A runner on second. Kick and the pitch. Fastball grounded over to the left side. That's through for a base hit. Stopping at third, the runner. And Nava able to spear the throw towards the plate, preventing Parliament from advancing. He gets a hit. Now they're on the corners. Double play now in order with Tobias the batter. Going to prompt a mound visit from assistant coach Cole Vickers. Bringing in the entire infield, certainly wary of the new common practice, pretty much, the double steal attempt, or at least steal from first and then judge it from there. Would not be surprised to see Parliament running to try and break up a double play, and if Nava throws through, try and steal a go-ahead run. Fine margins in this game is an understatement with what we've seen today. It's just been a weird day of baseball. Rexar trying to manage their bullpen here in a big game against the Rhythm. 1 out in the inning. 2 runs home. They came on a 2-run homer by Cawthron, which feels like an age ago against the starter Caleb Mars. First pitch. That's low, 1-0. Started with a hit by pitch and then a homer. After that, it was a walk. That swung on and missed. A walk, a single. And the caught stealing by Contreras, his first action as he gets a swing and a miss for strike 1. 1-1 here to Tobias. Parliament has not been running. Gets his lead. Contreras steps off, gives him a look. For Contreras, making his debut, trying to adapt into a new league very quickly, and it's straight to the fire. 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one skied into deep center field, right going back towards the track. He will make the catch. A run will score. Makes it 4-3 Rhythm, but the second out of the inning on the play. 4-3 Rhythm, and that'll bring up Jackson. Runner on first remains Parliament. Jackson today is hitless. Contreras comes set. Kicks and fires. A fastball, that's in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. Well speared by Nava. Contreras did not play in his freshman season with Connors State. One and one. Here's the pitch. That one's sky high and out of play, foul. Parliament takes his lead, 1-2 the count. Contreras trying to end the inning. Kicks and fires. Fastball low. It gets away from Nava. Parliament's going to head down to second. Just kicked off the edge of the glove. Count moves to 2-2. Ray hits in the inning for the Rhythm to take the lead on 3 runs. Contreras comes set. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball, check swing, he went through. And he is down on strikes to end the inning. A contentious top of the 6th inning leads to 3 runs for the Rhythm. They take the lead by 1. We head to the bottom of the 6th here from Bob Ward Field. 4-3 the score on Prospect League TV. Eli Riley will bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The ranks trail, and squaring to bunt Riley drops a bunt foul. A new arm on the bump for the Rhythm. That's J.D. Price, a junior from Georgia Southwest State. Bottom of the 6th. Chopper foul. 0-2. Snagged by Cole Vickers, who's now the third base coach, with Tony Roselli getting tossed in the top half of this inning. This game has had a little bit of everything and plenty of frustration across the day, and that's tipped foul by Riley. It stays 0-2. Price really slings it. A long arm motion. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Riley down on strikes. 1 away here, bottom of the 6th inning. Brings up Nava. In that game earlier today, the Corn Belters did officially drop their first game of a doubleheader to Clinton. 16-8 was the final in 8 innings. Misses low to Nava. 1 ball and no strikes. They're scheduled to start a second game of that doubleheader shortly, I'd assume. That's fouled off by Nava off his leg. 1-1 the count. Five games left apiece for these two teams after today. That misses outside, 2-1. Nava hitless today, 0 for 2. Outside, 3-1. Price enters in the place of Howard. This is his 16th appearance of the season, one of the more used arms. That's low, ball 4. Nava works a walk. Gives a look to his dugout, and that'll bring up Dawson Eastep. Price this year, 22 1/3 innings of work, a 5.96 ERA. Coming off of working back-to-back ball games between Sunday and Tuesday. Mounting to 2 full innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. Eastep takes a called strike. 0-1 the count. High strikeout rate for Price on the year. 25 Ks, 22 2/3 innings. Throw over to first. Nava scampers back. Third baseman Von Dolan is in on the edge of the grass. Rex known to play plenty of small ball, and 1 run remains the difference. That one skied into shallow left by Estep. Over is Hunt. He's camped, makes the catch. 2 away here in the inning. That'll bring up Diaz. Sun is setting to our left. The lights taking full effect on the surface. Chance for Diaz here. Timeout called. And looks like the Rex are going to pinch run for Nava. Coaches are discussing with each other to confirm, and Nava is going to be run for. It'll be Ben Kearns to enter. Nava will leave once again. His hamstring still fit enough to play, but certainly he wouldn't want to be testing out on a ball in the gap, perhaps. And in a situation like this, Diaz a power threat, and the runner on first, the tying run. It'll be Kearns on first for Diaz. First pitch, slung to Diaz, skies one deep center field, back on it, Watkins towards the track. He's there to make the catch. A long fly out from Wally Diaz, and that ends the 6th inning. To the 7th inning we go here from Bob Warren Field. 1 run in it. 4-3 the score. The Rhythm lead the Rex. Will step aside here on Prospect League TV, and the Rex in there for a strike. Oscar Pegg enters as the catcher after Nava was pinch run for in vain in the bottom of the 6th. That one very wayward from Contreras, who seeked a little bit more grip on the ball. 1-1 the count. Von Dolan the leadoff man. He'll be followed by Newsom and Usri. Here's the pitch. Fastball chopped over to third. Claudio off the edge of his glove and into shallow left. It'll be a single for Von Dolan, as some nice acrobatics from Estep to hurdle over a sliding Garcia. Both were charging fast at that ball to make sure that the runner didn't take an extra base. Von Dolan did not appear to be thinking about it at all on the play. Runner on with nobody out here in the inning. Top of the 7th, 4-3 the Rhythm lead. This game truly massive for the Rhythm, especially having lost the first 2 games against the Rex. Swing and a miss. A huge head-to-head result. If they can hold on to this win, that would have huge benefit as Pegg goes out to talk with Contreras. Garcia will join. Pegg got some words of advice from Nava before heading out there. This is the first outing for Contreras since joining the team just a day or 2 ago. Oh, 0-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball high, 1-1. Pegg able to convey his thoughts to the right-hander. On first is Von Dolan. Contreras set. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. That catches the corner for a called strike 2. Rex in the bottom half of the 7th inning. We'll have Joust, Mason, and Gabe Wright, 8, 9, and 1 scheduled. Contreras looking to keep it at a 1-run game. This is outside 2-2. The Rhythm made it interesting in the bottom of the 7th of game 1. The Rex were able to hold on for the win. Breaking ball, popped him up, foul ground, Diaz charging, and that is going to get out of play towards the concourse. Stays at 2-2. Contentious pair of games here today. Both teams will probably end up leaving today rather frustrated, regardless of the result. Breaking ball, that gets off the glove of Peg and to the backstop. Von Dolen takes second. He'll be in scoring position with nobody out. The Rhythm searching for that insurance run. Lights beaming down here at Bob Warren Field. Contreras set. Payoff pitch. That's outside ball four. That gets away again. Down to third goes Von Dolen, and on the walk, Newsom heads down to first. There's no action in the Rex bullpen. This is Contreras' game. Conservation of bullpens is equally in the mind of these coaching staffs. Still got 5 more games apiece to eat through and 1 day off during the next 6 days. First pitch outside, 1-0. One ball in, no strikes, the count. Never mind to Ursi. It is 1-0. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside, 2-0 the count. Runner on first is Newsom, on third Von Dolen. Usri is 0 for 1. Didn't play in game 1. Entered as the catcher in game 2 and walk in a strikeout. Infield in for the Rex. The pitch. Fastball, that's in there. 2-1 the count. Claudio even with the third base bag. Halfway in or so for the Rex middle infield. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Powers the heater by him. It's 2-2. Really needs a strikeout here. Trying to keep this game at a 1-run deficit. The runner 90 feet away. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Runner goes from first. Soft tapper. That is going to spin foul. Contreras left it. Let it do its spinning. I'll do it again at 2-2, and that has to send the runner Newsom back to first. The Rex faithful lending their support to the debutante Contreras. 2-2 pitch on its way. Fastball speared foul. Battle here between Usri and Contreras. Contreras was able to get out of the jam in the 6th, allowing 1 run, an inherited run. 2-2. Runner goes, the pitch, a little squibbed ground ball to second. Joust will come to the plate. His throw gets away from Peg to the backstop. Run comes in to score. They'll be on second and third with nobody out. Joust rushed the throw, and it was to the first base side of the bag. Even if Peg collected it, the runner was almost certainly going to be safe. Usri reaches on the fielder's choice. Run scoring on the error, and it's 5-3. 2 runners in scoring position. Second and third, nobody out. Left-handed bat of Cothran at the plate. Infield still in. Fastball inside, 1-0. Tyler Moniz-Witten is out in the bullpen. Two-run ball game. Nobody out here in the inning. The pitch. Fastball high. 2-0. Once again, a situation where it's a lot like the game the Rex played on Tuesday, where they were forced to go unorthodox to try and manage a very important game just due to the resources available. 2-0 pitch. That's line. That's through for a base hit. 1 run will come to the plate. Usri's going to be sent. The throw from Estep sails way high and into second on the play is Cawthron, and it's 7-3. The Rhythm breaking it open here in the top of the 7th. They lead by 4. Still nobody out in the inning. Things are spiraling for the Rex here. That's going to prompt a meeting, and they're going to point to the bullpen. Vickers makes the point to Moniz Witten. And he'll enter this ball game. The Rex will make a change, hoping to keep it where it is and prevent it from being too little too late. We will step aside. 3 runs home in the inning. 7-3 in the score. We'll step aside on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Tyler Moniz Witten is entering in the top of the 7th inning. It's 7-3 Rhythm. They've taken 3 runs here in the inning to extend upon their what was once a 1-run lead. Nobody out still in the inning. The runner on second is Cawthron after a single. That scored 2 more. End of the day of Contreras. First pitch high, 1-0. An interesting decision to go with Moniz Witten here. He's one of the top arms out of the bullpen for the Rex, a 2.42 ERA and 22 1/3 innings of work. Certainly you want to keep this game close. With it being 4 runs, give the offense at least a chance in the bottom half of the innings. That fastball is inside 2-0. However, once again, bullpen management for the next 3 games is going to be huge for the Rex. And Moniz Witten, you would expect, was going to be a huge part of it. And we're going to hope for, we'll be wanting him to limit the pitch count at least to finish this inning off to make him available in the future. As that's hit softly over to second. Joust gloves it, takes his time, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Runner moves up to third and Cawthron, 1 out in the inning. But back to my point before the break, I was talking about how this game felt very reminiscent of that normal game, except at a lower scoring level, in which it was a back and forth close ball game, but the Rex only have so many resources available to them that they've had to extend themselves in big moments of big games. As a meeting on the mound between Peg and Moniz Witten. On Tuesday, they had a debut starter They threw 4 innings worth of Isaac Rosario, who'd only thrown a maximum of 30 some odd pitches in his collegiate career and had to go 4 innings just to eat at some length. And then Ben Kearns, a position player 1 year removed from high school, coming out there to try and throw 2/3 of an inning, and in the end gave up 3 runs and picked up the loss in a game where the offense was doing fine, but pitching depth really hurt them. That's a jam shot pop fly into foul ground. Diaz going back. That's going to get over his head and land. It's a foul ball. Diaz, like the rest of the infield, was pinched in and had a very long run to try and get there. No balls and 1 strike here to the batter, Watkins. 1 out in the inning, or under 90 feet away. The Rex are also having to manage this bullpen down the stretch for 2 innings without their head coach, Tony Roselli, who was tossed in the top of the 6th. That's inside 1-1, and that certainly does play a part in some regard. It's very similar to what happened when Roselli was tossed in Chillicothe. That was a game that the Rex were already trailing by, and that's jam shot pop up out of play. Tied him up inside. It goes to 1-2. In that situation, it was about managing the bullpen in what was a game the Rex were chasing and had offense working just enough. So those kind of little things, in a sense, just the same coaching staff, but just a change in the decisions and change the way a ball game can go. 1-2, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, soft roller to first. Diaz will glove it, takes it himself. A run will score. 8-3. That's out number 2. 3 unassisted from Diaz makes it a 5-run ball game. 8-3 the score. 4 runs here in the 7th, 3 in the 6th for the Rhythm. They've worked their way back from an early deficit. We'll be holding on to a lead going into the bottom of the 7th. Kick and the pitch. Fastball chopped down the line. That's foul from Parliament. No balls and 1 strike. Rex will have 8, 9, and 1 to bat, starting with Joust, followed by Mason and Gabe Wright. They'll certainly want to try and dig deeper to where those big bats can come up to the plate. And at this point in the game, this point in the score line, they'll need runners on. In there for a called strike. Drops in 0-2. 2 away here in the inning. 8-3 the score. The Rhythm lead the ranks. Second game of this doubleheader. The Rhythm searching for a split. The 0-2 outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 8 runs on just 5 hits for the Rhythm in this one. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Rex. So they've committed 3 errors, which has been capitalized on by the Rhythm. 1-2. Fastball slashed foul. Went right through the hands of the first base coach for the Rhythm. Couldn't see who that was manning the spot over there, but he certainly got an earful from his own dugout. Went 2 hands and everything. Still couldn't grab it. 1-2. Moniz Witten comes set. Here it comes. A swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him out in front. And that ends the inning, but the Rhythm score 4 here in the top of the 7th. They lead by 5. The Rex have 3 outs to work with. We'll step aside here on Prospect League TV and the Rex Radio Network. Last chance for the Rex here in this one. Cooper Joust will lead it off, followed by Caden Mason and Gabe Wright. The Rex chasing 5 runs. First pitch from J.D. Price is outside 1-0. Joust, a pair of hits today. A double and a single here in game 2. Had a double in game 1 as well. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball in, 1 strike. Price comes set. Worked around a walk in the 6th. Slings one, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Joust. Arm dangling by the side of Price. Ball in hand. Righty comes set. Is 1-2 to Joust. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joust primarily working to the opposite field on his hits today. That's inside. Ball got away from the catcher as well, and it moves to 3-2. Joust working the plate appearance. There's another righty out in the Rhythm bullpen should he be required. Here's the pitch. That's outside, ball 4. Joust leads off with a walk. Free pass gets him aboard, and that'll bring up Caden Mason. The Rex haven't chased too many large deficits late in games. They've not been able to have any comebacks like this would be if they were able to do it. But they've started off with a walk, got a chance here. The first pitch, a strike to Mason. Oh and 1, here's the pitch. Mason pops it foul out of play. Another game in which the Rex have put a lot of balls in play. A lot of hard hit outs. 0-2 to Mason. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Mason shakes his head, and Wright will step up to the plate. Really, it's felt like neither team's been too pleased with the balls and strikes today. Once again, it was the Rhythm primarily in game 1. It was the Rex primarily in this game here. Both teams will certainly have a little bit of umbrage in their games. Joust takes a lead off of first. First pitch to Wright's in there for a strike. Wright, hit by pitch, walk, fly out here in game 2. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Ball got away from the pitcher on the toss back. Everyone's staying put. 0-2, long day of baseball, nearing a close here in Terre Haute. The Rex took game 1, the Rhythm in the driver's seat here in game 2 in the 7th inning. 8-3 the score. Pitch to Wright. Chop foul. 0-2. The Rex entered the day leading the Central Division. With a normal loss, they guarantee that they will stay there until tomorrow. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3, back-to-back Ks for Price, and the Rex are down to their final out. I'll bring up Garcia. Joust on first, 2 away. Rex needing 5. First pitch is outside to the shortstop, 1-0. That's inside. Check swing appeal, no swing. It'll move to 2 balls and no strikes to Garcia, who was nearly tied up on the pitch inside. Ahead in the count here, 2-0. Joust takes his lead. That's inside, 3-0. Price has been somewhat wild in his 2 innings, but it's been effectively wild in terms of the results. 3-0, taking all the way. It's called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike the count. 2 away in the inning. Bottom half of the 7th of a 7-inning game. 3-1. Swung on and missed, and the Rex down to their final strike. Garcia readjusts the batting gloves, takes his time. 3-2 the count here. And the umpires are going to come together. Not sure what they're talking about here. And I think they wanted to make sure Garcia called time before readjusting his gloves. Of course, pitch clock in effect means that if you don't call timeout, that clock keeps running. And as a batter, you have to be set and looking at the pitcher by a certain point. 3-2, runner goes. The pitch called strike 3, and the game is over. Final score 8-3. The Rhythm take game number 2. A split of the doubleheader between these 2 teams. And in the end, honors even. The Rex took the